So we load our most recent save. I have no idea where it is. Does it autosave when we do the meditation? That would be really convenient if that is the case. It does not appear as though that's the case, but I think we're pretty close to where we were. And, you know, lesson learned. We were wondering earlier, by earlier I mean like last week, what we could and could not do from a looting standpoint without the guards getting mad at us. And, well, we have answered that question, at least in part, after having done that. I'm curious what's over here. I feel like there could very well be drowners. Perhaps just loot. Didn't actually see how many ones that gave us, but presumably some. So, obviously we won't do that this time. And instead, we'll cross here? Looks like we can. Pretty sure we're supposed to be going to the other end of town. The end of town on the other side of the river. Speaking of drowners, there's a bunch of them. We are on full HP right now. But based on how things went last time we tried to fight these guys, it's maybe, you know, not necessarily an automatic fight here. Certainly not if a round of friends. Alright, well that also didn't work so well. Apparently they decided they didn't want to fight after I ran away a little bit there. Let's throw a quick round of water on to get some life back. And we split our damage a bit between the different drowners, so I'm not sure how we're looking in terms of the amount of damage we dealt. Not great in terms of being able to take one of them down. Well, you. We take you down pretty easily. So that is nice. There's actually more of them than I thought. Ow. I know we probably should be blocking more. I did sort of block there, except not really. Not well enough, apparently. Let's take a minute here. Down another water. I'm curious as to whether there's actually anything over here. I don't think I saw anything marked on the map, so this might just be quite literally a random group of drowners with no real benefit to be had from taking them out, other than the trace amounts of loot and experience that we get from them. So this is probably not worthwhile. We're also just sitting on one water remaining, which is a little alarming. I do like how you are currently separated from the group. I think that might, ow, make it a little easier to take you out. You are about to kill us, though. Oh, or you. Perhaps you? Down some quick water there while we were on the run, kinda, sorta. Just in case that guy got a hit on us. That does mean that's our last water. Does also mean that this is the last enemy, though. Could we perhaps finish taking care of business here? Ow! Dude, man! Come on! I mean, this guy's probably still gonna kill us. Oh, bad timing on that. There we go. But, yeah. That's all of the enemies. It's all of our healing that we had as well, which is perhaps not what we were looking for when we were considering going into a major boss fight here. We do have some raw meat. Okay. Yeah, you know, just down some raw meat instead, because I'm sure that'll be fine. And it does appear as though there is very little of value here. So that may truly, as we suspected, have been a fight just for the sake of fighting. And yes, I did just call my horse and get startled when my horse arrived because I was thinking that we were on really low HP. And the last thing that we wanted would be to have another enemy show up here. And lo and behold, large creature comes walking towards us. Looked like we might have been in trouble. Granted, we are about to be, like, walking through the forest. Eat a little more of that raw meat, and I see some of those dudes over there in the camp. I think we ran into some guys near a camp around here not long ago who were very powerful. So I feel as though we might want to make sure that we do not mess with them right now when we're sitting on low HP and low quantity of healing items. So we're pushing the boundaries a little bit. We're learning our limits. And, you know, gaining a little perspective. Now, presumably, these guards will not be mad at us right now, because it was in a previous life that we stole from them. And also... just the sparkles from that fire? I suppose so. Oh, we did, I suppose, not end up selling anything to this merchant.
Thank you for
given how,
me.
you know, we
People
died.
say, oh, see you managed.
So I'm going to skip through this conversation a little bit, because obviously we know what happens here. But we'll do
look at your stock.
a little bit of selling, just to get ourselves back in a similar place where we were before. Did we have some other stuff? Decorations are given for service above and beyond the call of duty. I think this is one of the items that we picked up from our various looting expeditions. Do we have any reason to hold on to these things? They are labeled as junk. That would seem to suggest the answer is that no, we do not need them. There's probably no purpose for them other than just selling for a little bit of coinage. So let's do that. Sell ashes to him. Because why not? That does also say junk. Or dismantled into crafting components. Okay, so that actually does sound like that could have some use at some point. Don't know how one does that. But that might be... well, okay, it does seem like that's a pretty common thing to see, though. That might be not so big a deal. Oh, there are books with information here that are not technically quest items. So those might be some of the books that we picked up in those dungeon areas. It's a different kind of currency, as is this. Okay. Yeah, so we are actually collecting 3 different kinds of currency. It seemed at one point as though that was the case, but now it seems as though we have confirmation. It can be sold for a significant sum or dismantled into crafting components. Seems like, based on that description, we want to sell it for a significant sum. But maybe that's just me. Black dolls, let's get rid of those as quickly as possible, perhaps. Oh, that's actually surprisingly valuable. We have 16 wolf hides. Whoa! 118 coins? Okay, well, there's part of our answer. This merchant does not have enough coins to buy this item. Oh, he has 42 coins. We can see how many coins he has. There's actually a limit to how much we can sell to people. That's interesting. So that is certainly new relative to Witcher 2. Because, yeah, I mean, that's 128 coins. It's nothing to snuff at when, after selling a bunch of stuff, we're sitting at a little over 500, close to 600.
Take care.
But I don't think we've bought anything. So that is, you know, entirely based on what we were able to pick up directly from slaying enemies and turning in a few quests. Okay, so now what we ought to do, I believe, is meditate here. And then, after we've done that, now we'll go and pick up something from, or get our weapons sharpened at the smith. Then we'll talk to Vesley. There we go. Alright, all sharpened up. And do we have anything help us heal? Because we should have just restocked on... Oh, and we didn't sell our weapons, but again, the guy was, like, running out of coins, so we can't just sell everything to one person. It's interesting. Okay, we did see these other book materials. My guess is the ones that are not grayed out are things that we have not yet read. So let's read this. Ooh, bestiary entry added. A veil hangs between the world men see and the one they cannot. This veil blocks the dead from the view of the living, and the living from the view of the dead. Some mages can break through this veil and communicate with the dead, or else summon them to the world of the sun for short periods of time. This is the art known as necromancy. Uh-oh. Carol, what did you get yourself into? The dead can also break through the veil and enter the world of the living on their own. Fantastic. Yet unlike the necromancers, in doing so, they are not driven by reason and will, but by a thoughtless, irrational need. This need arises from powerful emotions such as regret, longing, or wrath. Very often, these emotions gain their power by being invested in a material object by the dead individual while he or she still knew life. The object most frequently so endowed? Wedding rings, favorite toys, or the instrument used for the crime which sent the returned individual to the other world in the first place. So my guess is we probably ended up seeing this somewhere in and around the Noonwraith area. So that sounds like that is pretty clearly a tie to that. And then this is probably the thing that we found in the cellar recently. Himi. No wonder we're losing this war. With cowardly people for soldiers. All it took were a few arrows and a wallop of the mace for seasoning. And that was that. Battle was over, and the whole convoy was ours for the picking. Maybe they were having such a hard time of it because all that vodka they were carrying. Our brave warriors must have taken a sip from time to time, with obvious results. When you're seeing double, it's hard to hit your target. Take everything we gathered to the cubby, then fence it quick as you can, except that showy parade stuff. You'll have to bury or burn that. I reckon someone might recognize the insignia. And then there'd be trouble. Pious. Case? Sounds like, well, I don't know if it's a Temerian leader or what. Or Novigrad, that must be where Oxenfurt is, I'm pretty sure. Don't know where it is on a map. Orans were the Temerian currency. Temeria is not looking so hot right now. And at the moment, we have 578 of whatever the currency they use here is. I think it's crowns? But anyways. Okay. Oh, we did have some information on Noonwraiths already. Plague Maidens. Okay. Suppose we are still getting a little more information, though, in that case. Is that guy doing Tai Chi? Really looked like it for a second there. Okay. And Vesemir... Oh, the other thing, the original reason why we opened our inventory was to see if we actually had any food or drink at the moment. To help us perhaps, you know, like, go into a difficult fight. We do have something equipped on Roach. Okay. So I'm a little tempted to go inside to the tavern here and at least see if there might be a way. Purchase a little bit more food.
Got anything interesting under the counter?
Depends what you're after. Have a look.
Okay. Let's see. So, you have 168 coins. Might we be able to sell some of our other stuff to you? Seems as though... Well... That may be the case. We would not be able to sell all of our wolf hides, but we'd be able to sell some of them, and that does seem to, surprisingly, be our most valuable set of items. So, shopkeeper is now broke. If we buy things from them, does the amount of money that they have go up? I wonder. Decoy Gwent card? Swap with a card on the battlefield to return it to your hand. Ooh. That does sound nifty. Now that we have a little more coins in our pocket, we might actually be able to start looking at purchasing some of these Gwent cards, because initially we saw them when we first went in here and we were like, yeah, they look nice, but at the same time, we can't really afford any of them. So, like, this is, well, maybe not that expensive an item, but something perhaps a little bit cheaper, like, say, some apples or cow's milk might be things of interest to us right about now. Now, if we were being really picky, we would find the thing that gives us the most health regeneration per crown, or whatever the currency we've established we're using is. And apple is the cheapest, however, I noticed that it lasts for half the duration. So it is actually half as powerful as everything else I'm seeing here. So, except for that vodka. What is actually the best? Oh, that's look really good. And on the expensive side, so does seem that they have their prices pretty logical. The stuff that heals more is more expensive. Stuff that heals less is cheaper. So, not seeing any obvious bargains here. Yeah. I think it is still a little bit more cost efficient, by the looks of things, to purchase the weaker items. Because despite healing half as much, they cost less than half the price. Let's buy, yeah, basically just a whole bunch of these. And that did give you coins. Okay, so that does mean that we could sell additional things to you in that case, it would seem. Now, are you interested in purchasing weapons, even though you are, you know, Tavern Keeper? It appears that the answer to that is no. That is also notable. Learning a bit here. And we could sell all of these now, it seems. Old goat hide, not all of it, but most of it there. Okay. Alright, so we picked up some healing items, some food, and because we also sold some additional things, we, on net, pretty much didn't lose anything, point-wise.
Nilfgaardian rule to your liking?
What's there to like? 'Tis the same as any other. They tax us, requisition this or that. But they do keep the peace in the village, I'll grant them that.
You don't mourn Temeria's passing?
I mourned it round half a year back, when King Foltest was cut down.
Yeah, about that.
Now I just want peace.
In fact, actually, maybe let's just, you know,
Farewell.
not talk about that.
They've taken all our grain.
Oh, okay, that was a little bit startling when you know, screamed at the top of your lungs. But I believe we are now ready. We have the food, we have the sharpened weapons. We will not accidentally loot stuff from these crates and have guards get mad at us and chase us all the way through town. That seems like that's probably a bad idea. So let's save here, because this will be, I assume, far and away the most difficult enemy that we are about to face.
Yes? What is it, Wolf?
Got good news and bad news. Good news first. Captain of the Nilfgaardian garrison knows where Yennefer went.
And the bad's that we have to kill the Griffin for him.
How'd you know?
What else could he want from two witchers? Go on. Tell me what you know.
Griffin's abandoned its lair. Gotta make a lure, set a trap.
And how's that going?
I mean, we basically have all the information we're looking for.
Learned some
Seems.
things. It's a male, had its nest in the Vulpine Woods. The Nilfgaardians burned the woods down, killed its mate, smashed their eggs. Thought they'd fixed things.
It's always the same. Instead of sending for a professional, they try to do it themselves, only end up making matters worse.
Yeah, that's where we come in, right?
Got the buckthorn.
Ought to work like a charm. Powerful scent.
More like stench.
City boy. Rotting meat, manure, piss, standard smells of the countryside. Remember Tredegor? Hunting that Zoogle in the trash heap? You spent half the next day bathing, scrubbing yourself.
How can I forget? You ever gonna stop bringing that up?
Fine. If everything's ready,
Did fight a
say the
Zoogle in
word
Witcher
and
1 as
we'll
well.
Get to work.
Okay, so... Okay, this is nice. It does seem as though we could basically come back here at any point in time and say, Vesemir, yes, thumbs up, we want to go ahead, we want to fight the Griffin right now. It seems like if we were, theoretically, to just say, yeah, never mind, see you later, that we might be able to continue doing other things. If we were, say, looking to do another side quest or two in the meantime, we wanted to pick up a level or upgrade additional gear or stuff like that. I'm not totally sure, I mean, short of just exploring more of those question marks on the map, what else we might do before this. The quest does suggest that you are supposed to be level 3 when you fight the Griffin, and we are currently level 3. So that probably means that it'll be difficult, but we shouldn't be under-leveled, so let's give it a shot?
I'm ready. No point in waiting. Let's find a good spot to ambush it.
Picked one out already. Other side of the stream. There's fields and a grove. Plenty of room and far enough so no one will get in our way.
Good. Meet you there.
Okay. Prepare for the fight by brewing a Thunderbolt potion. Okay, alchemy. Does appear as though, at least for a blue mutagen, we don't have the ingredients, but wasn't really the thing we were looking for. So that should be fine. You can find a description of the item you created. So if we can craft mutagens, earlier we were talking about how there was some question as to whether we would be best served using mutagens as soon as we get them, or is it preferable to wait and make sure that you get greater mutagens before you start doing that stuff. And if we can craft greater mutagens, then that might be reason enough. Okay, but yes, we'll see the description of the item there. Items you can create are divided into categories. Select the formula for the Thunderbolt potion. Apparently we do know how to do this. Oh. What is this? Riga Embryo? When did we get that? We haven't fought any Endrigas. On Witcher 3, fought many Endrigas in previous Witchers. Witcher 2, actually, so only the point when they started showing up. But anyway, apparently we had one of those. In order to use an item during gameplay, it must first be equipped using the inventory pane. Yup, that makes sense. To use LB to select. Inventory. Okay. Let's do that. You have a Witcher potion, but in order to use it, you must first equip it. We have, I suppose, maybe jumped the gun a little bit because we did already make the Swallow potion, which is also a Witcher potion. And the game maybe didn't anticipate us to have already done that at this stage. Was anticipating that the Thunderbolt would be our first shot at things. Okay, so could we equip this? Let's see, probably raw meat would be the thing that would make the most sense to replace because it is the weakest of all of our various items here. Now you can use this potion during gameplay. Press up to activate the potion in the first slot, down to activate the item in the second slot. Okay, so I think we'll have Swallow on the up, which is the healing potion, and then the Thunderbolt potion on the down, which, if I remember correctly, although I wasn't really looking at it, is a damage potion. Increases attack power by 30%. That does sound helpful. Okay. Cool stuff. Let's take a quick peek at where Vesemir supposedly set up an open area for us to have this fight. It is right by where we died earlier. Fantastic. That's hopefully not a harbinger of what is to come here. Hopefully not. Hey, it's Marion Dude, who is probably the guy who ultimately was the one to chase us down and finish us off. Maybe pick some flowers for good luck. And I think the goal here, on the assumption that this is going to be the most difficult enemy that we've fought thus far, the goal is to play pretty defensively and make sure that we just get hit very little, if at all. And that probably means using some Gwen signs, which admittedly probably should have been using a lot earlier. I'm thinking back to, obviously, when the Nilfgaardian soldier ultimately tracked us down. If we had the Quen sign up, then we could have at least tanked one hit, and probably would have been enough to allow us to hop onto Roach and escape. But also, when we were fighting those drowners a while back, several drowners, might have been a good time to have it on as well. But could we potentially preemptively put on that Quen? Maybe. Trying to see which of those people is Vesemir. Looks like the guy. Oh no, he's tending the plants. Oh no, he's probably setting up the trap. You did a very good job of blending in there, Vesemir. Okay, so I'm gonna throw on a Quen just in case. I don't remember how long it lasts, but we'll see.
A stream, amber waves of grain, charming place.
Sounds like the
Perfect for an ambush.
I know how to
Never mind.
choose them.
sounds like a song.
Ready?
I mean, probably not, but try.
Let's start. Wind's good. Bait's scent will spread quickly.
Now all we have to do is wait. Come on.
Is that a
We can
fake
cower
animal
in
right
the
there?
shade of those birches.
Hold on. You set up like a fake sheep or something? Kind of looked like
So
it.
tell me, once we find Yennefer, what'll you do? Got your eye on a contract?
No. I'll go to Kaer Morhen.
Little
Really
early
now?
to settle in for the winter.
Snows are a way off, yes. And that's what worries me. Nilfgaard's crossed the Pontar in the east. Puts them maybe a week's march from Kaer Morhen. If they reach the valley before snows can cover the passes, well, we need to cover our tracks, hide our paths.
Okay.
Speaking of winter and wintering, think you'll come this year?
Maybe. Might bring a guest.
Going back to our memory. Will it be a flashback, or are we going into this fight? Well, looks like this might be the Griffin we're looking for. Whoa, hello!
It's close.
Definitely. Maybe, like, don't be sitting down, and, you know, maybe draw your weapon. Crossbow?
A crossbow.
Won it in a card game while you ran around. Might come in handy.
A witcher with a crossbow. We breaking with tradition?
Stop talking. Got a griffin to kill.
Okay, now I don't think we checked our bestiary to see if there's a specific way we are or are not supposed to fight this thing, which might mean that we're screwed.
Watch out.
Like, could we perhaps do that right now? And just check? Any last minute hints? Griffins. There we go. I, half eagle, half tomcat. Just like on Lord's Crest. Except this one was carrying a dead cow instead of a scepter. Griffin attack witness. Name unknown. Thank you. Very helpful there. Griffins were once only found high in the mountains, where they would hunt marmots and wild goats. When humans encroached on their lands, however, griffins soon discovered a new source of much more plentiful and easier caught prey. Cows, sheep, and shepherds. Though still wary of main roads and towns where folk with means to hire a witcher are like to dwell, these half-eagle, half-wildcat creatures have gone from rarities to often encountered pests known throughout the the Northern Realms. Especially hated are the subspecies known as Royal Griffins and Archgriffins. I'm assuming this is just a normal Griffin and not a Royal Griffin or Archgriffin. Those sound like they are more powerful iterations. Okay, I see the vulnerabilities here. Grape Shot Bomb. I don't think we have any of those. Hybrid Oil. I don't think we have any of those. Hard Sign we could do. That is a thing we are capable of doing, theoretically. Could we perhaps switch to it, like, right now? So LB. Use the crossbow here. Select the crossbow. And A. Press RB to let loose a bolt from your crossbow. Oh! A little bit late for that game. A little bit late for that, perhaps.
It's about to dive.
Yeah, it probably means, like, don't stand right there. I probably shouldn't be trying to go all crossbow. Let's just, stick with the simple stuff here, maybe. It is hurting us, in case that was not clear. Probably should have popped some potions earlier.
Damn, it's fast.
It is a Royal Griffin, not just a normal one. It does seem. Alright. Vesemir is also just kind of like doing work right now. Is he actually dealing damage to it? He is, a little bit. I think we were doing more. I think we probably would be best served hitting it with those Ard signs when it is up in the air, would be my guess. Come back here, buddy, pal. Try to, yeah, hit it with an Ard then. Not sure if that actually made a difference or not. Oh, I saw that coming. Okay, it can block, and surprisingly effectively at that. Nope, that was poorly timed.
Don't let it get away.
Oh, okay, we're chasing it down, apparently. On our horses? I suppose? Roach, where do you... Roach. Roach. We've been through this before, Roach. Witcher senses. When using Witcher senses, you not only see more, but you hear more as well. You hold LT to heighten your senses and determine the origin of something. But we also probably just need to generally go very fast right now because Roach was a little bit pokey there. Ah, it is over here by the mill where we were checking things out not long ago.
Come on, Roach.
Hello. Oh, are you really? Nope. I thought you were maybe going and running off again. Not this time, though. Oh, despite trying to dodge that one. What is our dodge ability, actually? That's our... I thought we were using it there. Except apparently not. Okay, I did pop our damage potion and now our healing potion. Really appreciate it if you would stop flying into the sky like that. Because... Right, it's a double tap on that button. That's how we do it. Okay, now we're back in business. In that case. Somehow we still hit it there, despite doing some weird stuff. I think I dashed out of the way, but still, ow, got hit again. That's also probably not a good place for us to go. Just a thought. It's not really what I intended. Can we perhaps get back up, please? I'm coming, Vesemir! Just give me a second. Sorry.
Bleeding. It'll weaken soon.
Also, we are very close to dead right now. In case that was not apparent. Okay, we did fortunately still have a healing potion remaining. I didn't think we did, but that's gonna be a difference maker. Would have been helpful had I remembered how we are actually supposed to dodge a little bit earlier on. Could you perhaps come down so that we can fight you? That would probably be helpful right around now.
Come on.
Saw that one coming. I'm trying to come in with a charge. So it is not really cooperating, and Geralt was insisting on not having it up. I do feel like we probably need to use Quen at this point, fortunately, and we do not have any sign juice right now. Oh dear. Did Vesemir just get the finishing blow on it? Something's happening. Just what? I'm not entirely sure. We are out of healing stuffs. And that nearly hit us. So we were very nearly in trouble. Whoa! What I really want to do right now is perhaps, like, bump one of our other food items to this spot where we currently have our empty potion, so that we can, you know, like, heal at all right now. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And just bide ourselves a little bit of time to get some of that regeneration going. Thanks, Vesemir, for stalling for us. There we go. Okay, now we have sign on it. Ow. Ow. Probably should have seen that coming as well. Need a little bit more. We should be in good shape from a health standpoint now. Ooh. Not sure we'd necessarily dash in the, quote-unquote, right direction there. You are, but pretty much dead. I would think one hit should do it at this point. And that does appear to be the case. Okay. We did it! So, you know, maybe not the most textbook, but
not bad.
I suppose not bad.
Though you could stand to improve something.
Yeah, you're definitely right. But humor me. What?
For example?
Upward vertical strike. It's too obvious. But more on that later. Take the Griffin's head to the Black Ones. I'll ready our horses. Meet me at the inn.
Okay, and we are running out of durability on one of our weapons, it looks like, based on how we're getting that red indicator there. I would assume it's our silver sword. Yeah. Oh, wow. That is 81 to 99 damage. That sounds huge. Just look at that number compared to our steel weapon number. And I don't know if those two usually don't line up. You know, is it always that the silver weapon has more damage than the steel, and so we shouldn't be reading into it too much? Also, where the heck did we actually loot this guy from? Because that is not the Griffin. Take a trophy from the Griffin. Like, yes, but standing directly on top of the Griffin, and you are not prompting me to... There we go. To take all. Ew, this is gonna get a little nasty, perhaps. Okay. Thank you for the conveniently timed scene transition there. Okay, and so we have defeated said Griffin. Did we just level up? We might have. No, we're still level 3. We've not. Okay. Wishful thinking. Ew, that doesn't look so great now. That does not look so great. I can tell you that much. So, where are we technically supposed to head to turn this in? I know Vesemir was saying we should turn it into the Nilfgaardians, but yet he also said visit him in town at the inn.
Whoa
so,
there, Roach.
you know, those are two entirely different things. Can't help but feel like you're giving me a bit of a mixed message here in terms of where I'm supposed to go next. But I think we go cross the bridge, head up north to the Nilfgaardian camp, and go this route, which will take us pretty close to this question mark here, because previous time round we went up this left side, the west side here.
Come on, Roach.
And we did find some stuff happening when we did that. But we have more to explore. more to do. To be concerned about going to the Nilfgaardian camp at night. I don't know, the Nilfgaardians seemed surprisingly reasonable last time. We're technically supposed to follow this, whoa.
Faster.
There are enemies in the water. I'm assuming they are likely drowners. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if we are technically supposed to be going...
Whoa there, Roach.
Oh. Okay, they're definitely gonna be drowners here. We were supposed to be going along the beach there, or we were supposed to be going a little more through the middle. Okay, there are definitely enemies here. Make no mistake. I actually think we are supposed to use steel weapons against wolves. There are a lot of them as well. There are drowners over there, so this area is no joke. Do you think that might be an explosive? Or not? Number to the left of the enemy's health bar shows their level. Are you about to suggest to me that this guy is going to be a way higher level than me? 5 is not terrible. Also, we did just one-shot that wolf there. So that's perhaps a sign of just how good the axe we picked up earlier is. Hello, friend. Ow. Also, ow. We are facing the wrong direction here. Warg is tougher, but it is also dead. So... seems good. There's a part here. Obviously. Did not make it through. It's not as lucky as we were. Diamond dust should be somewhat valuable. Or dog tallow, another one of those items that I'm not totally sure. I don't remember how valuable it was when we were checking in the shop. Wolf's liver? Not sure if we've seen that before. Was this technically the guarded treasure? Was that the question mark we were looking for on the mini-map? Or on the world map? I guess it's not so mini. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so we actually did successfully do precisely what we came here to do, which was find those guys as well. Now, there are some drowners over here too. I'm tempted to see if we can fight them as well. Except I hear some wolves creeping up behind us, which I don't particularly like. So maybe we just go, and I don't think there's any real reason to have to fight those drowners now. It's, you know, they aren't guarding the loot that these guys were guarding. This is interesting, though.
Take it easy.
Approaching from this angle. A little more scenic, perhaps. And I keep on seeing things on the side of the road and wondering if they might be lootable. Was Geralt making that sound?
Move it.
Okay. Oh. Let's maybe sheathe the sword as we waltz on by these Nilfgaardians.
We have much work to do here. Quite a lot.
But I think that's a good sign if the game is like, hey, this is a level 5 enemy, you're in trouble here, and yet we one-shot one of them. I think it was with a power attack, whereas I used some quick attacks that did not finish off any of the wolves in one hit. The Warg was tougher, had more HP. But overall, it's a good sign. So here is the Nilfgaardian garrison. Definitely don't loot stuff from these guys. They will presumably be very angry with us. Here
What
is the
hell
leader.
Is this?
Uh-oh.
Right. You take me for a blind man or a fool? This grain is rotten.
I didn't know.
So, a fool. Damn it, you never learn. Military Codex, Article 2, Section 3. For the delivery of defective goods, 15 lashes with a knout.
Oh.
Make it so.
No, no, no! By the gods, no!
So, earlier we saw this, Nilfgaardian leader, and he seemed like a pretty decent guy. One of the few merciful people that we've run into thus far. He was talking to that very peasant, farmer, whatever his technical title is, and he was saying, you know, they were negotiating how many crops he was supposed to supply the Nilfgaardians with, and the farmer was like, well, I really, you know, maybe I could get you guys 15 whatever, insert unit here, and then the leader was like, oh no, 10 is good. As long as you can get us 10, you're fine. And then, granted, the guy shows up and has rotten crops, and that doesn't go over so well. No more Captain Nice Guy. Oh man.
Guess you've
All
dropped your
him
good
out
uncle
for it.
act.
It was no act. I extended a hand to these people. They spat on it.
Could it be because it held the sword that killed their loved ones?
Tja, a moralist. And what would you do in my stead?
Wouldn't ever be in your stead.
Oh, ouch.
Tell me why you've come.
Well, I mean, we have killed the Griffin.
Fulfilled my end of the bargain. Your turn. Where'd Yennefer go?
To Vizima.
She was a day's ride from here the whole time? Under my nose? Might have said so.
Yes, I might have. But you would not have killed the Griffin. Tit for tat. Halt!
Okay. Oh.
We are not done. It's yours, this gold.
Oh, I suppose if you want
I would
to
not
give
want
gold,
you to
then
say
that
you
would
were
also be
inadequately
helpful.
compensated.
Dialogue. The time-constrained options. Oh, okay. We are about to have a time-constrained option. Fortunately, you have freeze said timer while we were on this screen. Some dialogues demand you make a quick decision. Choose your reply before time runs out. Yeah, I think we're gonna take the coins. Thank you. I mean, it could be helpful, perhaps, to have the no... Whoa. Oh, that's the sound of them torturing that guy, is what that sound is. Along with us simultaneously getting quests completed and getting coins and what have you. But, I was gonna say, there might be a case to be made for making sure that the Nilfgaardians owe us a favor. Because, you know, it could be that, hey, we see this guy at a later point in time, he's at least somewhat highly ranked in the Nilfgaardian ranks, and having someone who's powerful, who owes us something, is the type of thing that can be very helpful if you find yourself in a pickle later on. Granted, what are the chances of anyone honoring such a debt? I mean, that guy
Faster.
seemed like might have been someone who would have done just that. Most people, I would say, probably not. It seems as though generally those that we run into are just out there to serve themselves and are not terribly concerned with all the other stuff. So they would have no reason to feel as though they need to give us a favor, even if it's one in return for something we did for them.